Welcome to Creating a Self Love Lifestyle. I'm Marcy Newman, your Heart Shift coach. And as you know, I love talking about self love. And so it probably dominates nearly every conversation that I have with people. But what's really interesting to me is how often there are certain things that come up in conversation in relationship to self love. First off, I'm often asked, why is creating self love as a lifestyle important? And here's my answer to that. And I'm going to make this very brief because we'll be talking more about this in my upcoming live workshop next week on Tuesday. So I will leave the link for that below, by the way, for you to register. But self love lifestyle, why is that important? Well, here it is in a nutshell. The truth is that unless it's a lifestyle, you're not really in the energy of self-love. You see, self-love is a frequency. It's an energy frequency all its own, which means that it has a particular vibration. And in that vibration, in that frequency, there is innate within it a potential for you to create. Now, what are we creating? We're creating happiness, we're creating health, and we're creating a connection to the truth of who you are, to your wholeness. And I might say, excuse me, to your holiness. Yes, your holiness. So if you are not committed to creating a self love lifestyle and knowing what that is, how to go about doing it, when you're either tapped in or tuned into that energy and when you're not, I can tell you that you will start to, or I should say, probably, you will continue to live life from a perspective of deep yearning and unfulfillment. You see, the only way that you can actually experience fulfillment, a full connection to all that is, tapping into your purpose, your mission here, actually feeling like you're all in, you have arrived. The only way to do that is if you are willing to let go of the way you have been living your life up until this point. Now, here's what I want to say to you. This is not a warning, it's actually a promise. The promise is that when you start to reach, to take yourself higher into this frequency of self love, remember it's always out of the range of what you're in now. So if you were in it already, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And you wouldn't feel the fluctuations in your life that are so common when you're not connected to it all the time. But here's my promise to you. Every time you reach for it, every time that you um, are looking to let go of something that has defined you up until this moment, I want you to know that fear is going to rise up within you. I call this the attack of the F word, fear. And when you think about or feel into that kind of attack, it's exactly what happens. What happens when you're seized with fear? You breathe very shallow breaths. You may become paralyzed or catatonic. You have no idea what's going to happen next. And so you're on full high alert. A lot of people describe it as feeling like they're in like a foxhole in the middle of a war. And this fear will do whatever it can to seize you. It will do whatever it can to stop you in your tracks from fully committing to creating this lifestyle. Why? Because if you align with the divinity of who you really are, it loses all control over you. Doesn't stand a chance. It cannot coexist with that. And so it will fight to the death, you might say. And so I want you to know that this will happen. So don't be surprised when it happens. Don't feed into the fear. Just understand what's happening and why. So, because this is a very familiar occurrence, I want you to know that there's this part of you, the divine part of you, that doesn't even recognize that this is going on. Remember, I said they cannot coexist? So, this divine aspect of you, it has no idea what you're going through. I know that that might come as a shock to you, but it doesn't. Has no idea this is going on for you because it can't see it. They don't coexist in the same energy field, in the same flow of energy. So it doesn't see anything outside of itself. This divinity, this energy of the divine love that you are, that has created you, sees only itself. So when you're reaching to connect with that, you may feel vulnerable, but it's not because of the divine aspect of you. It is because of the human aspect of you. The aspect of you that has been, yes, controlled and diminished by that ego that has produced the fear to stop you. In fact, it probably has stopped you many, many times over without you even realizing it. At other times in your life when it came to you remembering who you really are. I'm sure that there have been times, because I'm sure that there are so many times that I can't even count, that it stopped me in my tracks, prevented me from being the full expression of who I was, or shrinking down, believing that someone or something else was more powerful than me. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that I can report now that that does not happen often, that I'm so connected to my divinity that I am reminded of that, typically pretty early on, before I go into this downward spiral. So, what am I saying this for? I want you to know that if it happens, that you have the antidote within you already. And I know that you do because you're here. You are watching this video. The antidote to that is courage. And you've been cultivating courage your whole life long. This is not something new. You've had to pull from that vault of courage every time that you've stepped into something new, a new experience, or you decided to try something new or create a new chapter in your life. Take a new job, a new lover, a new friend. So every time you have stepped out of where you are, closer to being where you want to be, you have taken from that vault of courage, and it has served you well. So know that this vulnerability that you feel when you feel that fear, that F word creeping up, well, if you will start to feed the courage, that it will be no competition. The courage will take over. And just as you have so many times before, you will reach again for something that is more in alignment with you truly loving yourself knowing yourself as the divine being that you are and embodying that to live life in that greater expression and to be happy and healthy and whole in your holiness. So, Your Holiness, I will be putting the link to my live workshop that's coming up. Um, of course, it's always the last Tuesday of every month, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be diving more into this. We'll be talking about the heart shifting that's necessary for this to take place. And we'll keep going deeper and deeper until I make certain that you have everything that you need to support you in this incredible journey that you're on. So please leave your comments below, your questions. Um, Share this with your friends and family. And please subscribe so that you get notices of all of the new videos that I'm putting up twice a week. So, as I said, I'm dedicated to you. I'm committed to helping you to live your best life ever. And so we're doing it together. How else could it be done? All right, so much love to you. And I'll see you again next week in the live workshop. Can't wait. Bye bye now.